In this video, we are at Liberty Park at Sheltonwood here in Southlake, Texas, which is really beautiful natural area, 17 acres with paved trails and really nice pond and fountain. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to take you a little bit through Southlake, and we're going to talk about some pros and some cons of living in Southlake, Texas. So stay tuned. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. It sure is good to meet you. My name is Wendy Pinnell, and I am a local realtor and broker here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And like I said, today, we're gonna talk about the pros and cons of living in Southlake. So let's jump in with pro number one. Let's talk about Southlake Schools. Now, the Carroll Independent School District is the school district for Southlake, and niche.com gives it an absolute A+, okay? A+ in academics, A+ in teachers, A+ in college prep. Now, a lot of times you'll see an A+ on niche, but not so much on great schools. So what did greatschools.org have to say? Well, they gave it great ratings as well. In fact, every single school in Southlake scored above average or higher, and a lot of them scored 10 out of 10, okay? So pretty high opinions both on niche.com and greatschools.org. In fact, Niche says that it is the best school district in Tarrant County, the second best school district in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and the fourth best school district in all of Texas. Now, here's the cool thing. It's not just about academics, okay? Southlake schools are very well-rounded. They were named the best school district for athletics in all of Tarrant County. Then they were named the second best school district in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for athletics, and the third best school district in Texas for athletics. Okay, so did I throw enough numbers that your way there? How you feeling about Southlake schools? Pretty good, right? Okay, that is a definite pro. Okay, well, let's move on to pro number two. Southlake is great for families. Now, I realize this isn't going to be a pro for everyone, okay? If you're a young professional, you may be interested in a great nightlife with lots of restaurants, in which case places like Addison or Las Colinas might be a better fit. But, for the sake of discussion, we're going to talk about why Southlake is so great for families, okay? Now, here's one for you. Did you know Southlake is almost completely made up of single-family homes? Yeah, we're talking no townhomes, no apartments, no condos, okay? It also has a 95% home ownership rate. Now, why should that matter? Why is that a good thing? Well, it means people are putting down roots, okay? People who own a home tend to put deeper roots down, stick around for a while, right? Like when you're a young professional and you're just starting out on your career, you don't want deep roots, right? You want to travel, you want to get out and explore, while you're building your career, right? But Southlake is more settled, okay? People come here to settle in, which means you get to know really not just your neighbors. I mean, you get to know your neighbors and your neighborhood, but also you just kind of get to know the whole community. And speaking of which, Southlake has a really strong community involvement vibe, okay? Every 4th of July, they do their big Stars and Stripes events, and those kind of events aren't unusual for Southlake. Community is just a very big deal. Now, Southlake families are also really involved with their schools, okay? There's a lot of involvement there. Like Friday night football is a very big deal. And of course, with good reason, obviously, because we talked about how good they are in athletics, right? And Southlake has a phenomenal football team. I got to tell you that what's remarkable about Southlake is here it is right in the middle of the Metroplex, and yet it has that small town community feeling. All right, but that brings me on to pro number three, okay, which is Southlake has a fantastic central location. It's a 30-minute commute to downtown Dallas, a 30-minute commute to downtown Fort Worth. It's like a 10 to 15-minute drive to the airport, which is even more convenient, right? Now, a lot of the inner suburbs of the Dallas-Fort Worth, when they're that centrally located, right, they're gonna explode in growth, okay? Places like Irving and Arlington, and with that growth, they're gonna have a little bit more of big city problems like crime. But in Southlake, you get that fantastic central location, which is a great commute-wise, but you still hang on to that small town community feeling. All right, well, I painted a pretty rosy picture of Southlake thus far, haven't I? But we do need to be realistic. Every city is gonna have its share of cons, okay? And I will tell you though, when it comes to Southlake, they're a little bit hard to come by. But here you go. Con number one, Southlake has a high cost of living, okay? So if we were to say like that the national cost of living is 100, Southlake would come in at a 164. So quite a bit higher than the national average. Now, if we take that and make it a little bit more specific, if we were to say that housing, the national housing score is at 100, Southlake comes in at 290, okay? So Southlake offers a ton of just amazing choices in housing. They have beautiful homes, but you know, it's definitely, you're gonna find that it's on the high side. It is up there. It's not really, when you talk about Southlake, you're not gonna talk about affordable housing, okay? Those are not gonna go together in the same sentence. So Southlake really has a higher cost of living than many of the suburbs around it, you know, Grapevine, Capel, Colleyville, Trophy Club, okay? So Southlake definitely has a lot going for it, but certainly the most prohibitive factor that buyers will have is that high cost of living. All right, moving on to con number two and our last con. Southlake doesn't have the greatest highway access, okay? Southlake only has one major highway going through it, and that's Highway 114, and it runs more or less kind of through the northern part of Southlake. And the only other road really that is anything like a highway is Southlake Boulevard, and that can get kind of congested. All right, so you have a great central location, you definitely do, but sometimes it can take a little bit to get to the highway. All right, wrapping it up, Southlake has fantastic schools. It's super family friendly and it has a fantastic central location. But on the other hand, it has a standard of living that many would consider probably a little too high. And you know, getting to the highway can take a little bit sometimes, especially, you know, if Southlake Boulevard is stopped up and at a standstill, okay? Well, I hope that this video was helpful. If it was and you want to check out a few more, hop on over to my channel. There's a bunch more videos just like it, but listen, before you do, check out the description section in this video, okay? Because you're going to find a link to our Facebook group where tons of people just like you are moving to Dallas every day, okay? Also, check out our website, okay? There's a link for that as well. It's homeindallastexas.com. You're going to find everything you need there to set up your move, okay? We're talking utility concierge, new construction guides, you know, and if you haven't learned enough already from all of our videos, there's a link to our blog page where you're going to find tons of blog posts as well. In the meantime, listen, thank you so much for joining me today, and hey, have a nice day.